so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. And this is some organizations I'm a member of. We don't need to go through this because you guys know who I am. So just to repeat, though, as a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed physician in the state. I am a natural health consultant, and so I'm acting under my CHES certification, which is Certified Health Education Specialist. That's how I can talk to you today. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. And now we will start right here with the first thing. So healing teas and beverages. The reason why I wanted to do this lecture is because, you know, one of the ways that people get diabetes is we all drink sodas. Everybody drinks sodas and they think there's no other options. And there's so many other fun options of things to drink that's worth experimenting with. And like even this Jing soda here, it tastes like Coke. You can get your kids and your grandkids and, you know, people drinking it, and it doesn't feel like they're missing out on Coke if they really like Coke, right? So, and there's so many other things, so I'll just keep going. All right, so we're going to talk about all of these today as different beverages that you can explore with different healing benefits. Some of them are quite medicinal. So we will just jump right in. Okay, so first let's talk about herbal teas, and that's just one of many different beverages that you could try. But I wanted to talk about them because we use them at the clinic in Bastyr University, where I went to my medical school. We will actually prescribe hibiscus tea for people who have high blood pressure. And 3 cups of hibiscus tea a day will lower your systolic blood pressure 10 to 20 points. And this has been proven in studies. So it's a if you can drink tea, and if you are a tea drinker, that's a really awesome way to get hydrated, to stay hydrated, because most of us don't drink enough water anyway. To me, it tastes like lemonade. It has a sour taste to it, so I like to add something to make it sweeter, you know, something safe that doesn't raise my blood sugar. But some people really like the sour taste, especially in the summertime. It's very refreshing for them. So we're going to go through a bunch of different teas and talk about it. I have all of these back there, and all of these have a lot of medicinal aspects to it. So ginger and turmeric, that's like the anti-inflammatory blend. So if you're a tea drinker and you have a systemic inflammation, like you have achy hands from osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, you know, if you know that you have systemic inflammation, drinking ginger tea along with mixing it with turmeric is like a 2-for-1 special. And ginger does really well for inflamed gastrointestinal tract. So let's say you have, you know, Crohn's disease or something, irritable bowel disease, you know, or syndrome. You can drink ginger tea and it will lower all the inflammation in your entire GI tract. And I know this to be the case because I get stomach aches all the time, and I take a very strong ginger tea. I have 3 different ginger teas you can try, and please take a packet with you too. If you don't want to drink it tonight, just take a couple packets of whatever you want to try at home. So then if you like them, you can go to Trader Joe's. Okay, so all of these have medicinal aspects to them. Elderberry is antiviral, and lemon balm is anti-anxiety, and lemon balm is extremely anti-anxiety, so it works very well for people who are anxious, and if they just need to calm down. It's not, it won't help you sleep necessarily, but it does help you become calmer. So it's something that works very well. Okay, so let's keep going. So here's one that I love. I used to get it at Trader Joe's. This is the hibiscus tea blend that I find the most delicious tasting. So, you know, if you wanted to, I could drink this one because it has lemongrass, peppermint, orange peel, cherry bark. All of these are medicinal. The lemon peel has limonene in it, which is anti-cancer fighting. The cherry bark helps you, it's a cough suppressant, so it helps if you have a cough or a sore throat, which a lot of us are having with, you know, COVID-19 and things. You start having a sore throat. The cherry bark works really well for that. And but the main ingredient is the hibiscus, and it will lower your blood pressure. So I think I have 2 different hibiscus tea blends back there that I recommend you grab one and try it. Okay, so this is one of the ones I like to drink before I go to bed because I like to have a sweet tasting, and this one's naturally sweet tasting. It has all of these ingredients and all of these aspects to them, you know, that make them healthy. I love the rose hips because it's a natural vitamin C, and the vitamin C will heal the endothelial lining of your blood vessels and help promote a non-sticky arteries so you don't get plaque buildup in your arteries. So taking consuming a plant-based vitamin C regularly is extremely healthy for your arteries. Not a synthetic ascorbic acid, but like a plant-based one. So this would be a fantastic blend to get in the habit. You can get one that has black tea and one that doesn't. So it's like, it looks exactly the same and you have to look, because I like to drink it at night, so I don't want the black tea in it, because I want to not have the caffeine. So be aware that there's two versions, one with the black tea, the caffeine, and one without. Okay, and that's a delicious one back there too. That's probably one of my most tasty.
This is great. That's what I'm drinking.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
sometimes I'll put a cream in it too, like a MCT oil powder to make it like a creamy taste, and I just love it. It's delicious. So, and it has, I mean, these are all medicinal herbs. They're just so good for you. Everything here is really, really good for you. Okay, so lemon balms. This is another one of my favorites. I still think like that one the best though, the spicy one. But this has a lot of great stuff. The licorice root in this one is antiviral, so really good for when, you know, COVID starts going around, or cold season, or flu season. Licorice root is extremely antiviral, so that's a great ingredient. It also balances stomach acid, so if you tend to have high or low stomach acid, it just equalizes it, whatever it is. So that's good. And then elderberry is also antiviral, so that's fantastic. Lemon peel has limonene in it, which is anti-cancer fighting, so really good. So this is a great blend. So teas are, if you drink teas in the fall and winter, it's a perfect time. Many of us drink teas. It's a great way to get natural medicines into your system and antioxidants. Okay, this one needed to be mentioned, Chanca piedra. It's an herb that is highly effective at dissolving kidney stones. So when people call me up and say, I have a kidney stone and I need to pass it, this is the first thing I get them drinking. You can also drink nettle tea. So sometimes I'll have them alternate with Chanca piedra and nettle tea. Gallium, aperine, which is cleavers, also helps dissolve kidney stones. And juniper berries will help. So you could, any of those four are really good for dissolving kidney stones, but this is the number one. So if you know someone in your family who has a tendency to have kidney stones, this is just something that's great to have in your cabinet. Just have it there, so when it happens, you've got it and they can start drinking it. Also, it's been shown for people who have high coronary artery calcium that it will chelate the calcium out of your artery. So a lot of people put it in a naturopathic program to help reduce coronary artery calcium scores. So that's the thing is, you have to be regular about it. For it to actually make a difference in your calcium, you got to be every single day, right? So that's harder to do. But for kidney stones, you'll drink anything to get rid of the kidney stone, you know. But then when you're done, you don't have to drink it anymore. And this is very mild tasting too. It doesn't have a strong taste like the ginger or something. You know, it's very mild. Okay, so the next one. This is another one. How many of you have heard of senna? Yeah, so senna, a lot of times you can go to the store and you can buy Senecot and it'll help you if you're constipated. Well, senna is an herb, and that's why the product Senecot has senna in it. You can also get this tea, Smooth Move tea, and it will work very well. The only caveat or recommendation I would give you is don't drink it every single day, because it actually creates the peristaltic motion that's in your colon. It makes it lazier, right? So it's good for an emergency, but it's not something I would want you to drink every single day, right? But if you're going to be going like on a cruise or on a vacation, great to throw a couple in your bag, so that way you can stay regular. If this is something that happens all the time, I recommend vitamin C and magnesium. Those, like magnesium oxide, works really well for constipation. So you can get magnesium calm powder. So this is not my number one first go-to. It's my emergency go-to. So you haven't been able to go for 3 days, then you can drink one of these teas. Just don't do it every single day. Okay, and that goes for Senecot too. I wouldn't take that every single day. Senna is, you become accustomed to it, and then your bowel becomes lazy, right? So you just want to not do that. Okay, sage, this is another fantastic one. I have this tea back there for you to try if you want. I drink it. because I'm in menopause and I get hot flashes, works fantastic for hot flashes. It will reduce your hot flashes, but it also is fantastic for cognitive health. It's been proven in studies to, and I think I have somewhere back in the back, I have a study about sage helping with cognitive health. And there's many studies on sage helping with cognitive health. So, as we get older, if we can get a 2-for-1 and actually improve our cognitive functioning and have less hot flashes, let's do it, right? Okay, and it can ease rheumatoid and arthritis symptoms. So sage is fantastic. I don't like the taste of sage, so one of my favorite blends is with red clover and the aerial part, the flower, and freeze-dried pineapple. And that's what I have in the back in the jar. And I have little bags, tea bags. We can stuff one for you if you want to take it home and try it. It's delicious. That's the sage blend that I think tastes really good. The freeze-dried pineapple with the sage is a tasty blend that works good together. Okay, so here's one. Salvia officinalis is sage. That's the Latin botanical name for sage, and it helps with cognitive health. So that's what that's showing. Conclusions. The results of the study indicate the efficacy of sage extract in the management of mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease. So there's a lot of different studies out, but they definitely agree that it helps with cognitive health. So something, if you like the taste of sage, go for it. It's not my favorite tasting, but I drink it if I'm having a lot of hot flashes. Okay, barley tea, I wanted to mention, it's not something we drink a lot of here in the US, but in Japan and other countries, they drink a lot of barley tea. They call it, I have another name for it. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's 2 different names for it in like Korea and Japan. And it's drank a lot. Like they drink it very commonly. I have some back there. I love it. I just think it tastes really amazing. Very thirst quenching. So I'll take the packet back there, which we'll show you. We'll have time to go back and experiment back there. But I'll put it in a big pitcher and make a pitcher of it and put it in the refrigerator and let it steep cold overnight. And then if I go and do a workout or I'm doing some yard work and I'm thirsty, instead of drinking water when you come back in the house after working out, or if I use a sauna, I always bring a huge container of barley tea with me with the sauna because it's so thirst quenching. And but it has tons and tons of health benefits. This is my new clicker, by the way. I'm so happy I have it, so I don't have to go to the computer and hit the button. But there is just an enormous amount of health benefits from barley tea. There's too many for me to even mention all of them. So anyway, so I don't want to stand in front of it. But anyway, so there's that. It's delicious. This right here is tea that has a reputation for being anti-cancer fighting. So I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's the name of a Native American tribe in Ontario, Canada. And they supposedly came up with this blend of 4 herbs, including burdock root and sheep sorrel, slippery elm bark, and rhubarb root. And it supposedly helps with cancer. I don't think there's a whole lot of study to support that, but I will say those herbs are extremely medicinal. So it's a good, if you like the taste of it. So this woman right here, Renee Cassie, she took that Native American blend and made it, basically tried to market it for anti-cancer fighting. And Essiac tea is just her name, Casey, spelled backwards. And it's just, if you look at the ingredients, it's exactly the same ingredients as that Native American tea. So now it's been known for decades as Essiac tea, but now they're trying to move it back to the name of the tribe who invented it, so the Native Americans. So anyway, but they're the same thing. So the reason I mentioned it is just so you know that this tea, hold on, that one and this one are the same. And it has a sweet taste. I don't know if any of you have tried burdock root before. Burdock root is extremely medicinal, and it, do I say what it does? Yeah, right up here. It helps with blood circulation, removes wrinkles, lowers blood pressure, and it actually tastes good. It has a sweet taste, and a lot of people will put it in their root beer blends. So if they're making a homemade root beer with sarsaparilla and sassafras root, they'll put burdock root in it because it gives it a sweet flavor that's not as offensive as like a licorice root, which is also sweet. So I like the taste of it. We have it back there, so you can add it to hot water and taste it. I recommend you try it. Now's your chance. You can also try it with sparkling water, because it's a concentrate. The bottle comes with a concentrate. Okay, so now for osteoporosis, nettle tea. How many of you have actually drank any kind of nettle tea? Have you ever tried it before? What do you think of it? I'm curious. Is this grassy or herbally?
Yeah, it is herbally.
Yeah, it has a very green taste to it for sure. This is an unusual one for me. When I drink nettle tea, it tastes milky, and it does not look milky at all. There's nothing about nettle tea that looks milky. It's grassy tasting. So I wouldn't say it's unpleasant, but it's not necessarily pleasant. It's not like peppermint or something. It's like grass. But there's this odd milky taste to it, and that's the calcium. There is so much natural calcium in nettle that my taste buds sense it as milky, right? And so not everyone can taste that though, that sensation. But for me, like, I know I'm drinking nettle tea because it has this milky taste. It's hard to describe, but it's super good for so many things, but it's a natural calcium that's very bioavailable. So for osteoporosis, and if you're trying to get natural calcium, it's a great way to get it. It has tons of other great nutrients as well. I buy it in the leaf and put it in my apothecary, and I'll blend it with other things. So usually if a client comes to me and they have kidney stones, I will blend cleavers, gallium, with celery seed and some nettles, and then I'll give them the chunk of piedra as well, but I'll give them these two different ones to alternate back and forth and just drink constantly, right? Nettles is great for dissolving kidney stones. Okay, so green tea, everyone's heard of green tea. Green tea is basically, it's that plant, Camellia sinensis. That's the actual botanical name of the green tea leaf plant. And it has all kinds of great things in it. Black tea is basically the same thing that's just been aged and fermented. So people don't realize black tea and green tea are the same plant, the Camellia sinensis. It's the same plant. It's just how they make it, what they do. But it's super, super good for you in 1,000 ways. Here's some benefits right here. I could show all the studies, but there's like thousands of them, published medical studies on green tea. So I try to drink it. To me, I actually like the taste of nettle better than green tea. So sometimes I'll mix the two, because green tea just tastes very green, and I don't like it. But I try to drink it. It's very good for your teeth and all kinds of things. So, but the main thing that I like it, the reason like I would drink it personally for me, is it helps you lose weight. It has ECGC in it. I think I'm going to go through EGCG, which is gallocatechin gallate, which has been proven in many, many studies to help you burn fat. And it's extremely effective at helping you burn fat. So, but here's all kinds of other things. The effects of green tea on weight loss, a meta-analysis, which is all the studies they can find, and they do a meta-analysis on it. So these are all great ones. So when I send you this PDF, if you're interested, I put these here so you can type them into Google and then pull up, the study and look at it if you're interested. But there's so many things that green tea is good for. If you can make yourself like it, go for it. Okay. Thank goodness we are now beyond herbal teas. So that was just one little segment of healing teas and beverages. I'm going to try to go quick. Coffee, a lot of people think that coffee is not good for you, but actually it's been shown that regular coffee drinkers have a lower risk of conditions such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and Alzheimer's. I didn't know that. There was a lot of studies showing some huge health benefits from coffee drinkers. So if you like coffee, I would not say try to limit it. And in fact, you can drink up to 6 cups a day and show health benefits. After 6 cups, it's diminishing returns. But that's a lot of coffee. The main thing I would be worried about with that much coffee is the caffeine. It has a half-life that's 4 hours. And so if you drink it past 10 a.m., you're still going to have some in your system at night. So you got to be careful with that. But this is all the science-backed coffee benefits. I mean, there's just a million of them. So some studies say that the antioxidant, the food antioxidant that is most consumed by Americans is coffee. That's the main antioxidant Americans consume. So I would say if you like it, drink it, right? Just try to get a really high quality one. Coffee beans are known to have a lot of toxins in them if they're not processed properly. So you want a high quality coffee bean. It's worth trying to find a high quality one. But these are up to 6 cups a day has been shown to be beneficial for all kinds of things. So, if you're a huge coffee drinker, it'll actually reduce your risk of gout. So, if you have gout problems. So it's something to think about. Here's some links you can read about a little bit more about those health benefits there. All right, so now what about coffee alternatives? Like me, I'll drink 1 or 2 cups in my big mug, of coffee in the morning, and then I try to transition to a coffee alternative because it's just good to mix things up, in my opinion. And this is an interesting one called Mud Water, and it has like cacao, which is chocolate, and masala chai, which is I have a masala chai there, which is like a mixture of a whole bunch of really good spices. Turmeric, cinnamon, cordyceps, and chaga, which are medicinal mushrooms that are highly anti-cancer fighting, and reishi and lion's mane. Those are all, the lion's mane will regenerate nerve tissue. So that's, in your head, so really good for cognitive health. So this is amazing, and people love it. They say it just tastes amazing. It's a little on the expensive side, but I've been experimenting with making my own blends, and so you can do that too. So it's something to think about. It's easy. Just find cacao powder and some lion's mane powder, and you can make your own blend that you like. Here's another, how many of you have tried this? Have you guys, anybody tried this? I drank this a lot when I was in medical school. You can get it in bags, but also in grounds. So you could put it in a French press and use it just like a coffee, and it's thick and rich. It looks just like coffee, right? It doesn't taste like coffee, but it's a pretty good alternative, So for people who can't drink coffee because it upsets their stomach or something like that. And it has a lot of really good things. The chicory and the dandelion root all act as prebiotics that feed your microbiome, so that way you get a more diverse microbiome. So a healthy microbiome is a diverse one. It doesn't mean you have a lot, but you want a diversity. And in order to keep that diversity, you have to feed those because a lot of people will take probiotic pills, right? Like, I take my probiotic, well, that's great, but they'll die if you don't feed them what they like to eat, right? So the good bacteria that's in your gut that you want to keep alive really loves dandelion root and chicory. Those are great prebiotics that will keep the good bacteria alive. So it's something, this is also something I've drank a lot of. It's dark and rich, and we have it back there for you to try. So I recommend you try it, even if you just put some in and then just put some hot water in and give it a try. Now's your chance to try a lot of these. It tastes good, but I like to put cream in it. So I'll add some cream and some kind of sweetener, and that one tastes, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It tastes like what it tastes like. You would know it's not coffee, but it still tastes delicious. It's rich tasting. Okay, so here's all the benefits of dandelion root. There's just a ton. It's really helpful, in my mind, for feeding the good bacteria in your gut, but it also nourishes the liver, and it's antioxidant, has tons of vitamins in it, and helps you detoxify, so it's a liver supportive herb. And we actually used dandelion root extract in our research lab and proved under a microscope that it helped kill cancers. So it's quite beneficial if you can figure out how to get it into your diet. And that tea, the Dandy Blend, is actually pretty good. So this was very popular at my naturopathic medical school. We had that in the bookstore. And so everyone would come get, and it was right by the cash register, there were single packets. Like you can get the Starbucks ones that are just single packets. People would just buy for 50 cents a single packet and then drink, sip on it in class. So it was very popular at ND school. Okay, that's what introduced me to that one. This one I haven't tried yet, but I like the idea that it's chicory combined with dandelion root. So I'm anxious to try that one. It looks really good. It looks rich and creamy, just like the Dandy Blend, but I think I might like it better because I like the taste of chicory better than dandelion root, so it might be a good blend. Here's some other ones that are popular in other places in the world, and I've tried almost all of them. I love this one. I don't know how to pronounce it, Perot, but this one tastes great, and it's barley. Once again, it's barley, right? But it also has chicory, rye, And so, really good thing, the chicory is a prebiotic. It feeds all the good bacteria in your gut. So that one's delicious. Okay, so here's another coffee alternative that has a bunch of mushrooms in it. I am a big proponent of medicinal mushrooms. Lion's mane's great for cognitive health because it regenerates neurons, which is fantastic. Turkey tail has been shown in many, many studies to be anti-cancer fighting. And then there's shiitake, which is immune. Chaga is also anti-cancer fighting. Cordyceps is used a lot by athletes to increase. So when I was training for Race Across America, I took a lot of cordyceps every day. And I swear it helped me do a lot more powerful workouts. And then reishi I don't like the taste of at all, and so but it's also medicinal. So I put it in my bone broth a lot of times. When I make bone broth, I'll put reishi mushrooms. But this is a mushroom coffee blend, and people think it tastes great. So don't forget about chocolate. Some people will, you can even get, for your Keurig coffee makers, you can get cacao chocolate little pods instead of and you can order them from Amazon instead of the coffee ones. And I think that's fantastic because high quality cacao powder is extremely healthy for you. So dark chocolate is a superfood, so don't underestimate it. So don't feel guilty eating dark chocolate. It helps with normalizing lipids. It lowers your risk of cardiovascular disease. It has just a million really good benefits. So I consider dark chocolate a superfood. And if you can drink it, if you like drinking it, go for it. I think this book right here, this is a book right here, Hot Chocolate. I have that book, and I've had a lot of fun playing with the recipes in there. It's a little bit labor intensive though, but they have some interesting ones with hot peppers and everything. So that's a fun book. Okay, so now. Vegetable juice, this one, I love vegetable juice, but it's so much work, I don't do it very often, but this is me, that's my hand. All these vegetables, got put into that much fiber, which is amazing that all those vegetables is that little hand that, and you can make, this is my favorite blend right here. This is a picture of my kitchen counter, and it's a green juice, and I really like celery, because it has a sodium in it that help, if I'm going to be doing some cycling or some kind of, jogging or something, it's fantastic to replenish the electrolytes. But if sodium is an issue for you, you need to be aware that celery has a lot of natural sodium in it. So there's a lot of benefits to celery juice. And there's been whole books written about celery juice, and it seems to be a fad these days. I think it's overhyped a little. For the most part, but I think that from an electrolyte balance standpoint, so let's say you have muscle cramps, if you can make yourself some celery juice mixed with cucumber and a little ginger to give it some flavor, it's a fantastic electrolyte balancing thing to help you not have muscle cramps at night. Okay, so there's that. All right, so how many of you have heard of Gerson therapy? Okay, great. So how did you hear about it? I'm just curious. So just reading and things like that?
I had a friend tell me about it.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. I'm glad. That's great that you've heard of it. Spread the word. So, this is Charlotte, the daughter of Dr. Max Gerson, who created a therapy that is promoted as an anti-cancer therapy, and is primarily a juice therapy that causes a very rapid detoxification in your body, and it breaks down cancers. It works really well for children with different kinds of leukemias, so children respond really well to it. It doesn't have a 100% effectivity rate, but many cancers respond very well to Gerson therapy. You can't do it in the US, it's illegal. So people usually go to Mexico, and then they go to Gerson therapy institutes down there where people will juice them. They'll juice for them all day long, because you have to basically drink a ton of carrot juice, like all day long, just tons of it. And to have fresh organic carrots and to use this juicer that does not a slow grinding, it's not a fast centrifuge kind, which changes the enzymes. So they use a Norwalk juicer, and which is very expensive. And it's labor intensive. So if you're sick, it's very difficult for you to do this therapy for yourself, right? You really need someone like, for children, the mother will usually do it if they're going to do it in the United States in their home, or you go down to a center where that's what they do. You pay for it. And then the other component of the Gerson therapy is enemas. So you do lots and lots of carrot juice followed by coffee enemas to help, because it works so quickly at detoxifying you that you get overloaded and you need to be able to pull out the toxins faster through your portal vein, and you do that through enemas. And it's extremely effective. It works really well. It's miraculous. There's some really interesting documentaries, and if you have any interest in it, I recommend you look up the documentaries and watch them. They're fascinating. And I found out about this before I went to medical school, and so I have a Norwalk juicer. and I learned a lot about coffee enemas, and including glutathione powder in the enema to help actually pull out toxins from your liver and more quickly. So there's a lot of efficacy to it, and it's super interesting. So that's just something. So carrot juice is very good for you. There you go. All right, so how many of you have made your own nut milks? You guys ever done that? So I put these up here, and they look all ratty because I've used them so much. But these, you can buy a 3-pack of nut milk bags. So this is my little 3-pack, right? And you can take your blender, and if you have a really nice one, like a Vitamix blender that will really grind things small, you put a bunch of almonds in it, or cashews, and you grind it up, and then you put this in a pitcher, and then pour the milk in, and then you just squeeze out, they call it milking like this, a nut milk, so you're milking the milk out of it. And you can buy almond milk at Walmart and things like that, but I'm going to tell you what, if you ever make your own almond milk once, you will be shocked how good it tastes. It tastes so much better than anything in the store. It's like a wholly different product. So I use like 2 dates, a couple almonds, and like a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and it tastes absolutely delicious. And you can make all kinds of milks. You can, cashew milk, and cashews, I don't even strain them out. You can just stir it in, and you have a cream, and it tastes delicious. It's like a cashew cream. Really, really good. We've made a celery cashew nut milk soup that's absolutely fantastic. And all you do is put the celery in the Vitamix with the cashews and the water, and you grind it up, and it's hard to believe how delicious it is. It's an absolutely phenomenal soup. It tastes delicious. And even people who don't like celery love it. It tastes like creamy and good, and there's no dairy. Coconut milk is another thing that is super healthy. So I use the canned coconut milk, and I'll put it in a whipper, and make whipped coconut milk to put on top of my coffee sometimes in the morning, and it's delicious. But also coconut water has tons of potassium in it, so that's a great alternative. A lot of people, for a while when coconut waters were getting popular in New York, all the women were going and doing yoga and stuff, and then they would drink like 2 and 3 coconut waters. I don't recommend that, and it sort of went out of fashion because, when you have electrolytes, you have sodium and potassium and magnesium and calcium. It's like a 4-way teeter-totter, okay? And so when you drink a ton of potassium, then you're messing up with your sodium-potassium balance, and it can cause heart issues. So you really want to be careful in balancing your electrolytes drastically, right? So just remember, if you're going to drink a coconut water, 1 a day is fine, but try not to drink like gazillions of them, because you might start having muscle cramps because of a lack of sodium, to balance it out. It's like a teeter-totter. Okay, but they're very good for you, and it helps reduce the risk of kidney stones. Coconut water does, so kidney stones runs in your family. Great. All right, carbonated beverages. This is one I really want you all to try. I've got a bunch of these Jing soda tinctures back there that I want you to mix with some carbonated water and give them a try. People say, oh, well, the carbonation is bad for your teeth, and that's actually not true. The carbonation itself is not bad for your teeth at all. It's the things that are in it. So in the carbonated beverages, not the actual carbonation itself. So, in fact, carbonation, it helps bring oxygen to tissue. So it's actually very healthy. Carbonated water is very healthy for you. It increases hydration. all kinds of stuff. So if you like carbonated water, drink it. It's very good for you. I have a soda stream back there. I'll show you how it works. We have some glass carafes that I brought that we can carbonate the water, and then you can add the Jing soda drops. This is a reishi cola Jing soda drop that has reishi mushrooms, which is anti-cancer fighting. Tastes delicious. It's back there. I have all the Jing soda blends. This is their primary flavor, which is their cola flavor. It says cola right there. And it has all of these medicinal herbs in it, which is absolutely amazing, because I was going to make my own, and I'm like, why? It already exists, you know, they make it, and it's fantastic. And it tastes like that one, I think a couple of you have, it tastes like cola, and that's the ingredients in it, and nothing else, which is, to me, pretty phenomenal that they were able to create such a great recipe. So I really like Jing soda drops, and they have tons of flavors back there. There's like 7. Okay, root beer. I've also experimented with making my own root beer. So if you can get them brewed with natural roots, and then do it. Most of them have artificial flavors and that kind of thing, but if you can get one that's really made with these ingredients, which is like the original, it's medicinal, very, very good for you. There's tons of sassafras around here too, on the hiking trails, and which is awesome. And burdock root is the sweet component, like I said. This one, my mother does not like it. She thinks we ruin the concentrate when we use licorice root, right?
Yep.
So we're still trying to optimize our root beer recipe, but we definitely experiment with making our own root beer concentrates. Okay. Here's a root beer recipe that you guys can look at, you know, later. It'll be in the PDF that I send you, and you can play with it if you want. I love playing with this kind of stuff. This is the original Coca-Cola secret formula. You can't read it. Doesn't matter. It's been retyped here for you. So that's like what was originally in Coca-Cola, and I have not yet tried to duplicate that myself. But I don't have to anymore because the Jing soda tastes pretty good to me. But there it is, and there's the recipe if you want to give it a try. How many of you have heard of shrubs? Okay, so shrubs is like quintessential Americana. So as Americans, we should know about shrubs. But shrubs basically are a flavored vinegar, right? And they were very popular a long time ago in the early 1900s. And the idea was you would put a bunch of fruit usually or other things into the vinegar, like blackberries or something, and then or elderberries, and then you would take this concentrate that's with the vinegar concentrate, and then you'd mix it with carbonated water and have this little shrub cocktail. So we have some shrubs back there for you to try if you'd like. You can buy them. They're quite popular. There's whole books on shrub recipes, the old-fashioned drink for modern times. It's an acquired taste. It has you know, a vinegary taste, but I don't know, Mom, you like it occasionally when we're in the mood,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. Be careful if you buy one on Amazon. A lot of times they'll add a ton of sugar to it. So I would rather be careful about what you buy if diabetes or blood sugar issues run in your family. Here's some brands that you can find online and buy. They have all different kinds of flavors, you know, and like I said, you like if you look at this one, it says make 8 drinks, because you just put like a shot glass worth in your cup, and there's no alcohol, but that's about how much you put in your glass, and then you mix it with carbonated water, and it tastes pretty good. It's an interesting, different thing to drink, you know. That's when you want something to feel like you have a treat, but not alcoholic. All right, so this is something I've made tons of, and that's fire cider, and I usually would make it in big gallons. Very medicinal. I love the spiciness though, so like you don't like the ginger tea, you may not like fire cider. It's even more spicy, and it's a savory spicy. And so I would use it as the vinegar on my salads. Like I'd use it for my salad vinegar, but I used it cooking with anything that needed like a savory vinegar, I would use it. And the ingredients in it are all of these right here. So it's hot peppers and onions and just all kinds of stuff. And it's invented by Rosemary Gladstar, which is like, in my mind, the queen of botanical medicine in this country. She's amazing. And it's just a fantastic herbal blend. All you gotta do is just put you can look up fire cider recipes on Google. You'll get a bunch. They all have pretty much the same things. It's hot peppers, onions, horseradish, you know, and then you just stuff it, the jar full, put a bunch of vinegar in there and let it sit for, 6 to 8 weeks, and then you can start using it, and it tastes delicious. So that's something that you can do. So here's the ingredients that is in, the primary ingredients in fire cider. And it's easy, super easy to make, really, really easy. Okay, so then there's all different kinds of herbal beverages you can try. Like I own all these books and I played around with different kinds of mocktails and those kinds of things. Then there's fermented drinks, and I'm not a big into like kvass and stuff, but what is this one? Okay, so we have like ginger ale is actually, you could make your own ginger ale where you ferment it naturally. That one's delicious. Kombucha is very healthy for you because it has that fermented aspect to it. And then there's kefir and Rejuvelac. How many of you have heard of Rejuvelac? It's very popular with health nuts, and I find it really gross. And then kvass is, something they drink a lot of in I think Germany and Russia. And then there's, this is a fermented beverage, and so they're all interesting to try. Rejuvelac, what you're looking at in the background is wheat berries, so wheat, that has been put into a jar with water and allowed to ferment for a couple days, and it starts bubbling, and then you pour out and you strain out all the wheat berries, and then you just drink the liquid, the fermented wheat berry liquid. And yeah, like I said, I don't like it. But you can use the liquid to make nut cheeses. So if you want like a non-dairy cheese, you can like make a nut cheese with it, and it gives it that cheesy taste, which is interesting. And I have used it for that, and it tastes pretty good. Okay, we're almost done. You guys can try some. That's how you make Rejuvelac. You just put a bunch of wheat berries into a jar and let it ferment. And there's tons of health benefits to it. You can read about it here if you're interested. And kombucha is very popular. I don't like it a whole lot, but all my classmates loved it at school. There's about 20 different kinds of kombucha in our bookstore. And but it has a lot of great antioxidant properties because it's fermented. And then kefir is good. Do you guys like kefir? Have you tried kefir? I don't like kefir either, but a lot of people love it. And this is the only brand that I think tastes really good. So if you're gonna try it, you want to try it, that may be worth trying. And I do like kefir making a mango lassi. So you add some like frozen mangoes, and a little bit of a hydrosol, rose water, and you blend it in a blender, and it tastes really good. So there are ways to drink it. This is an interesting probiotic drink because it's lime mint, but it's basically a fermented coconut water. And that tastes delicious, by the way. So if you ever see this in the store and want to try it, it's fermented coconut water, and it tastes good. And here's another one right there. So it's like a coconut water kefir. And then we have aloe vera juice. I brought this. You can get this at Walmart. Have you guys seen this before? This is great for stomach aches. So I get a lot of stomach aches. You mix it with a little bit of sparkling water and a little bit of berry anthocyanins, which I'm going to show you a berry concentrate, and it actually tastes really good, and it really soothes the entire digestive tract. So fantastic thing to have if you have people in your family who get stomach aches. Add it to other things, like mix it with some other juices, and the person will find it palatable and won't even know they're drinking it. And especially berry juice. So aloe vera helps with liver function, constipation. It helps with acne, and it soothes your whole digestive tract, not just your stomach, but all your intestines and everything. It's very soothing. So kvass is the drink that they drink a lot in Russia. It's like bread. You put bread in a jar and you let it, sometimes rye is typically, and you let it ferment, and they drink it, and they sell it like a beverage on sidewalks. And I tried it because I went to Russia when I was younger, and yeah, it was gross. but it's good for you. And so here's like a kvass, stand somewhere. And but you can also get beet kvass, which is a little better. It's not the bread that's fermented; it's the actual beets, and that tastes okay. I've had beet kvass and I liked it okay. And beet juice, and even fermented beet juice, so like beet kvass, causes a vasodilating effect because of the nitric oxide in the beet. So if you have high blood pressure, that could be something good to try. And then this is one of my favorite things. I have it here. It's a super treat. I recommend you try it. It's pretty expensive. It's medicinal. We prescribe this at the Bastyr Clinic all the time to people because it helps keep your arteries soft and elastic, and so it'll lower blood pressure, and it tastes unbelievably delicious. And you just take one spoonful and put it in your cup and add some sparkling water to it, and it tastes amazing. And so in our family, since heart disease runs in our family, we have our berry cocktail every single night. So we have this all the time, and I have a bottle back there for you guys to try. But it's just a mixture of all these berries that have amazing healing properties for the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. So very medicinal and tasty. And then miso soup is something I love a lot. It's a salty, savory thing, so I'll drink it sometimes in the morning instead of coffee. And I just put, this is my favorite brand right here, South River. And it's an American-made miso, but they make it using the traditional Japanese techniques. And dandelion leek, I just love. I brought it here, so you guys can try it if you want. Mix some hot water with it. It has a salty, savory taste that I just think is delicious. So this is another American-made miso, even though it looks like it's not, it is. And it tastes pretty good, but these, I think, have better flavor. And then bone broth is also something I highly recommend. I drank it all through medical school, and it was fantastic. This is a great book that talks about all the healing benefits of bone broth. And the thing is, you got to make it, unless you want to buy it. And Kettle and Fire is a brand that I highly recommend if you're going to buy it. But it's a little expensive, but it will definitely heal your whole. If you have an irritable bowel, if you drink bone broth daily, it will help a lot. Okay, hydrosols are distilled waters. So I have a water distiller, and you put water in it, and then it steam distills, the water to clean it, to take impurities out. But if you take water and you put a bunch of stuff in the water, like let's say I put lavender in the water in my steam distiller, what I would result with, it would be a hydrosol, right? So it's a steam distillation of an herb in the water. And you can get lavender water, calendula water, you can get any kind of water. There's tons of different brands. I sort of went down the rabbit hole of hydrosols when I was in medical school because I was curious about them. They taste really good. They're interesting. Gin is vodka that has been steam distilled with herbs. That's all gin is. So what makes gin is that you take the vodka and you put juniper berries in it, and then you steam distill it, and then you get gin, right? So what makes different brands of gin is their recipe, but all gins must have juniper berries, and the rest can be some other things. So let's say you do the same thing, but you don't use vodka, you just use water. So in other words, you take water and you put it in your distiller instead of vodka, and then you put juniper berries and all the other herbs, coriander and all the spices that make gin. You can make a hydrosol gin, right? And so that's what I experimented with doing. And here's the technique. It's just steam distillation, with the herb in it. And you can get rose water when you add it to yogurt and mango. You can make a mango lassi, which is a traditional Indian drink, and it's absolutely delicious. And that is the secret ingredient. It's a rose water hydrosol. This one's orange blossom. I have both of these. I like to. It's the secret ingredient in many culinary recipes. But you can also get thyme and rosemary and sage, and you can order them, and they're very powerful. It's just water, and you don't have to use that much, but it adds an amazing flavor because it's the volatile oils of that plant in a steam distilled technique. But this is what got me making gin. So Ritual Gin Alternative, the brand is Ritual. It's called Zero Proof because there's no alcohol. It's Zero Proof because they don't use vodka to make it. They just use water instead. And it has all the same ingredients that a traditional gin would have in it. It's just, I'll be honest, it doesn't taste exactly like gin, but it is interesting. Like if you added some lime, you could make yourself a little cocktail, and it actually tastes pretty dang good. I made a lot of my own, so I took the label has all the ingredients, and I went and got all those ingredients and made my own. And I had a lot of my classmates say that mine was better, but it's fun to experiment with it and have a zero proof, cocktail, and still have all these amazing flavors, in a hydrosol. So you can buy all of these from any liquor store. They sell them at liquor stores, even though they have no liquor in them. So this is another brand. All of these are hydrosols, and and then this is a very interesting website if you're looking for non-alcoholic type fun drinks that have herbs in them. And since I'm a naturopath, like herbs, I'm all about the herbs, That's why I liked the gin, because it's made with herbs. But there's tons of great stuff. This is a Thai iced tea, And which is, if you've never had one, you need, the next time you're at a Thai restaurant, you have got to try Thai iced tea. It's delicious. It's basically Ceylon tea with cream, and it just tastes amazing. And it has a lot of medicinal benefits. This is another drink that I had honorable mention, but mangoes do have a lot of fructose, but it's just yogurt mixed with mangoes and rose water. The rose water hydrosol tastes amazing. It's really delicious. Every Indian food restaurant you go to in the United States will have a mango lassi on the menu. It's worth trying at least once. And bitters is another thing I went down the rabbit hole with too, and I make all my own bitters. Now I have made many different kinds of bitters, but basically all bitters is a bunch of herbal tinctures mixed together that have designed to stimulate the production of hydrochloric acid and releasing bile for helping digest fats. So you could take them, put them straight on your tongue. Bitters don't work unless your tongue tastes them. So if you're trying to like put the thing, if you don't like the bitter taste and you're trying to put it in the back of your throat, then you've just wasted the herb. You must put it on, so a lot of times they'll come in a sprayer and you can spray it on your tongue, and that will help you digest your food. But also, you can put them in cocktails to give it an interesting flavor. So this woman right here has made some amazing flavors. She has a company called Urban Moonshine, and she has an orange bitter, so you can get on Amazon, and I love it. It's my absolute favorite bitter of all time, is the Urban Moonshine's orange. But there's so many other ones, and they all have different benefits. And there you go. That's it. Thank you guys for listening to me. And I think we're 4 minutes early. Tried to go quick, but please,